We've come to Wersa Bay Boat Club and to meet Hannah, not to go boating, but Hannah is from Mountains to Sea Wellington. And Hannah, we heard from Joe about collecting the giant kelp, parts of the giant kelp, to take back into the lab at Niwa and grow kelp in the lab, in the laboratory. The next phase is obviously planting that kelp. So tell us about what happens with that, because this is where it first began, right? Just out the front of the boat club.
Yeah, so this is our first original site, which we kind of chose because of the boat club being here. It's a nice spot. We know that there are some already existing macrocystis here, and we thought it was quite a nice sheltered area. So that's kind of how we decide our sites. It didn't start off as a very successful site. We had a lot of issues with urchins. We had a lot of issues with the current and the wave exposure here. But it was a really good first trial of our first plant out, and we got to figure out a lot of things in the very first year of our project. The survival rate was around 8%, which was quite low, but it was our first year, so we were learning how things work.
Macrocystis, you're obviously using its scientific name. So just so you know, giant kelp. But what were some of the problems you were facing? Why was it only 8% success rate?
We first started off using a range of different sizes of rocks, with the idea that smaller rocks we could wedge into bigger rocks where the macrocystis holdfast could grow over, so it could establish better. But we found that because even though it seems like a sheltered bay, the wave action lifted all of those up and took them out into the harbour. So we found that was we lost a lot of seaweed that way.
Well, I guess that's part of a process, and you've got to try some things and things don't work, so you make improvements. And so you shifted the spot and you've now got some pretty good success just over there. You've got good kelp growing.
Yeah, so we very much are just learning while doing. We're kind of filling a gap in restoration work that hasn't been done before. So we're very much trialing different things, making a lot of mistakes, learning from them. At the moment, we don't have any in our original spot because we learned that that's not the best spot for them. And we've moved northward, we've moved along this side here. And we've seen really, really good success. This morning we went for a monitor and we saw 70 to 80%, which is quite a big increase from last year. So it shows that all the little changes we've made have been working well.
So how do you know you're getting success with the kelp growing? What do you do to monitor it?
Yeah, so this is something we also trialed a lot. We've done lots of different things. We first started off using lots of measuring every single baby kelp that we put out, which was very labour intensive. But now we've learnt that that's probably not the best, most efficient way. We've also upscaled our project, so we have around 250 babies at the moment in the water. So now we've moved into a survival count, so just we put 10 in one quadrat and we count how many out of 10 make it, that survive, and then we do a measurement of the largest baby kelp.
It's really important when you're measuring the success of things like this is to go through proper scientific process. And it's not just you and Joe, you've got a lot of helpers. Tell us about them.
Yeah, so we've been very fortunate that the Wellington community has been very interested in our project. So we have 2 programs of kelpers, which are people that are helpers of kelp, so we call them our kelpers.
See what you did there?
Yes. So first we have our critter kelpers, so that's with a school down the road, and they've been helping us with every step of the way, from helping us tie the rocks in the lab to planting the rocks to monitoring, and they've been really, really valuable in helping us with this project. We also have our community kelpers, and this was just something that we put out to our contacts, people in our Mountains to Sea collective, and we actually spent quite a lot of time training these community monitors up, teaching them freediving skills, the health and safety, all that sort of thing.
It's great that you've got that involvement from the community. You're literally turning people away, and it just shows that, you know, people can get involved in science, really. You know, so, and what's the future vision then?
Our future vision is, one, to get the word out about seaweed and how important it is to the ecosystem, as well as like services towards humans as well. It's an ecosystem, it's a habitat, it provides a space and shelter for lots of different organisms. So that's a really big thing. We want to kind of let the community know that macrocystis used to be everywhere in Wellington, and it's on the decline, and we're trying to combat that. So just learning all the little steps along the way, and that way our kind of vision is we can share this knowledge, so we can restore kelp across New Zealand, because it's a declining species, and yeah, it's really important for the ecosystem.
Fantastic. Well, I wish you all the very best, and it sounds like you're making great gains with your kelp, so keep up the good mahi. Kia ora.
Thank you, kia ora.